Welcome back to the M-STEP Computer Adaptive Assessment for ELA and Mathematics video training series. Chapter 2, the M-STEP English Language Arts Computer Adaptive Test. In this chapter, we will discuss the item types and functionality that are specific to the M-STEP ELA assessment. In the ELA Computer Adaptive Test, there are three types of items or questions. The first type of question is associated with a passage set. Passage sets refer to both reading and listening passages and their associated questions. The second type of question is the independent or standalone item. These questions will provide the information needed to answer the question in a stimulus or prompt. And finally, the third type of question is the passage-based writing prompt. These questions require the student to read a passage and then write a response to the prompt. We will discuss each one of these item types and their functionality in this chapter. The first type of item, the passage set, has specific navigation functionality. Specific to the passage set number indicates how many test questions are in a set. This function is useful because it helps students keep track of their progress. Another navigation function specific to the passage set are the next and back buttons. Within a passage set, a student can navigate backwards and forwards. When the student reaches the last item in a passage set, selecting the Next button will submit all items in the passage set. Once the items are submitted, the CAT test engine will not allow the student to go back to the passage set. The passage set has other functions that alert students when the responses are not complete and when they are. The Next button indicates to the student whether his or her response is complete. As I answer the questions, take note of the back and next arrows. Within a passage set, the next arrow is active, even if the question is not answered. However, at the end of the passage set, the next arrow will be light gray, signaling the next arrow is not active until the student answers the question. Once the question is answered, the next arrow will become active. If the student attempts to leave a passage set without answering all questions, the student will be alerted that one or more questions in the passage set are unanswered, and he or she will be returned to the beginning of the set when the Return to Questions button is selected. After answering all the questions in a passage set, the student will see another warning. Once you move to the next question, you cannot go back to this passage set. The student will be prompted to either return to questions or move on to the next question. If desired, the student may click the box next to the Do Not Show This Message Again for questions not part of a passage set message. The warning message will also appear following items that are not included in a passage set or after the independent items. However, the warning message will continue to appear for items associated with a passage set. Some items in a passage set will require scrolling to see all the text. Now let's turn our attention to the functionality of the non-passage-based items, the independent or standalone questions. Independent items or questions not associated with the passage set do not have a back button. The Next button is activated only after a student answers the question. After answering independent items, students will see the warning, once you move to the next question, You cannot go back. If students disable the warning, "Do not show this message again" for questions not part of a passage set message, it will not reappear. Schools should explain the use of the "Do not show this message again" for items not part of a passage set option to students during training to ensure students understand what happens when the option is activated. If the warning is disabled, the Return to Questions button will no longer be an option, and selecting Next will submit the response. The third type of item in the M-STEP ELA CAT test is the passage-based writing prompt. This item requires a written response to a prompt. The passage-based prompt item contains several formatting tools to assist students in writing their response. These are similar to tools commonly found in word processing applications. The Undo/Redo tool allows a student to undo text in their response, or after undoing the response, to redo it. The Cut, Copy, Paste tools allows a student to cut and copy or copy and paste sections of the response text. The text formatting tools provide limited options to bold, italicize, or underline text. The Indent/Outdent tools allow text to be either indented or outdented back to its original position. Even after viewing this video, you may still need more information. To experience the many different item types, students and teachers can enjoy the added benefit of practicing the tools and basic navigation of the M-STEP ELA CAT test by going to the M-STEP training tutorials and the online tools training sample item sets. MDE recommends students first view the tutorials to become familiar with the login process, navigation, and the basic and content-specific tools embedded in the online M-STEP CAT assessments. Once they have become familiar with the tools and functionality of the CAT, students should log into the sample item sets and practice the various item types for ELA there. Each item type is represented in the sample item sets. If you have additional questions about the M-STEP English Language Arts assessment, send an email to mde-oeaa@michigan.gov with ELA M-STEP in the subject line. MDE staff will be sure to address your question in a timely manner. For more information about other state summative assessments, see the Guide to Michigan State Assessments document available at www.michigan.gov/OEAA. Next up, Chapter 3, the M-STEP Mathematics Computer Adaptive Test Training Video.